ladies and gentlemen, a whole lot to talk about on this Thursday. Let's get right into it, though. We have an arrest, allegedly. I can't wait to see how this turns out. In the January 6th DC bomber case, they picked up a suspect, nor do I believe any of what comes out of this DOJ's mouth. And we also know now that MAGA has a women problem. That only took what, 10 years? And and Pete Hegseth is still a mess, among other things happening in the nation's capital right now. Let's go live to the friendly confines of the upper Hudson River Valley. Brock and Ellis standing by with a closer look in black and white. Brock, the DC bomber case. It has taken forever and a day. 5 years? Is it 5 years? Right? We're a year into Trump 2.0.
5 years.
Yeah, 5 years to bag a dude. We can't seem to find any mugshots, no online photos, no yearbook photo. I mean, when was this guy born? In the 30s that we don't have a yearbook photo? I don't think so.
It seems
Something
to be
smells the miss.
an incredible lack of information has come out.
Sure.
Um, it, it now seems amazing that it took 5 years because with all the cell phone data and online records of having to buy the components to make these bombs, like
Mm-hmm.
there just can't be a lot of these purchases going on around the country, right? It's this pretty small sample set, and the overlap of someone who might be in the area as well as buying all this shit. It seems like it probably shouldn't have taken 5 years with the supposedly finest, law enforcement agency in the world. But okay, we got someone now, but sadly, I can't. I have no trust in our FBI
Ah,
or in our DOJ. I have no trust in the story that's going to get spun. I got no trust in how they're going to try to figure out how to make this person Antifa or some sort of left-wing radical, even though the bombs
right.
were placed at DNC. So, like, why would a left-wing radical be bombing his own people? But who knows? False flag. Who knows what they'll come up with? But Cash Patel and Bongino are so invested in it being an inside job, like they're gonna try to find ties to the FBI prior to them, because that was part of how they made their
Part of their
their
narrative.
hay as online podcasters was conspiracy theories like that. So yes, I mean, I guess we're happy they arrested somebody. Do I trust the due process? Do I trust the messaging? None of it. Zero.
No,
So we're gonna have to try to see through the holes and just to me it's like, okay, the propaganda machine's about to kick into gear.
right. I don't have any faith in this FBI or DOJ. Um, Cash Patel is still the guy that wears jeans, sneakers, and a hoodie with cut off sleeves, to meet um, the head of MI6. So, like, he has no credibility in my book. Bongino, former podcasters doing jobs that you actually need experience and qualifications for, just doesn't fly. I
I thought
mean,
I thought Bongino was quitting, right? Like 3-4 months ago. Remember, the job was too hard, and then he
yeah,
disappeared and didn't go to work for a bunch of days.
yeah,
And so it's like, and not like we cared. Like, okay, what was
right,
the threat there? And Cash Patel, I mean, rumored that he may be getting fired. Right? Other FBI agents put a big report together, about how poorly managed the agency is, and he's gotten
right,
caught red-handed flying around his girlfriend in like private jets. So he's just kind of, been
right,
small scale corruption.
right. And I don't look. I don't. Even if this is the guy, these people will figure out some kind of way to botch the case. I mean, look how sloppy their investigations have been to this point. You know, they're giving out information before it even happens, like with the Charlie Kirk shooting. I mean, you know, they had no idea what the protocol is, you know, how to proceed and, you know, one of these, you know, absolute critical investigations. And, you know, like again, you know, they're in way over their head, and they're not smart to begin with. It's one thing if you had a bunch of smart people who you thought might be able to figure it out. You know, the guy who takes his girlfriend, who gets his girlfriend a security detail from the FBI and then flies her around in private jets. Like, who's he flying around? Dolly Parton? Like, you know, some wannabe country singer? What the hell?
Look, they should have put this story to bed today too. They should have been like an announcement, a suspect, all kinds of information should be coming out about the
Yep.
suspect. Like they've had so much time, and really, it's sort of like there's still a ton of question marks floating around it. So
Right.
we'll see. Right, I'll put it under a we'll see. I mean, I guess I'm sort of happy about it. I'm almost at the new who cares level, right? Like
Right.
it's after 5 years, it's good for law enforcement if they got the right person, but now let's see if they did. And I only hope that I get some semblance of a true picture of the person and the motivations.
Yeah.
Not banking on it. Will not keep me up at night. I
No.
think there's bigger problems and bigger shit going around. I almost don't even want to talk about Hegseth today. Like to me, he should be just like dead man, fired man walking,
Yeah.
right? There is
Yeah.
absolutely no way he should keep his job from
At all.
Signalgate to war crimes. Like, why is he possibly still in the seat? We're
Right.
less safe as a country. How can you be a party that talks about national security and has always been like the tough person, tough man party, and have
Right.
this guy in charge who's a bumbling idiot, and he's really brought America into the territory of war crimes, which just takes away any kind of moral authority we have anywhere in the world.
Right.
So the only reason he could keep the job is that Trump's keeping everyone close under the tent, and Trump wants him to start a war in Venezuela.
Yep. Yep. I mean, it's as simple as that. um, there is no, you know, beating around the bush with this. Is it the Maduro regime? Is it the oil? Or is it actually drug smuggling? I mean, you think all the drug czars and all the people in the war on drug, all the wars on drugs that we've had from what, since Nancy Reagan, you know, no one ever thought to bomb these boats on the Caribbean?
Come on,
That's not how they're getting in, Looney Tunes.
the whole
That's
story's a
not how the
fraud.
drugs are
The whole
coming.
story's a fraud. Oh, they're killing millions of Americans by bringing the drugs in. The whole
Right.
story's a fraud, and it's a diversion. So I don't want to spend time on it anymore. We know the game that's being played. It's a
Absolutely.
wag the dog. Trump's trying to get away from Epstein and a crumbling economy, which are the real stories. But he doesn't want to talk about that. He
Yep.
needs us talking and putting our attention somewhere else.
Yes.
But Mark,
Absolutely.
I want to get to something that's going to start really petty, and then it's going to, I think, build into something where maybe you look at me and go, "No shit, Sherlock." So the petty part is, for anyone who listens or watches our podcast, is that we do take little what they call like hooks and clips, which is like 15 to 45 second, blurbs, and I post them the next day. They actually get more views because more, who's sitting through our whole show. We,
Right.
we appreciate anyone who does, but we get it if you can't. And there's some, we try to send out some greatest hits just to keep, some attention going during the day. Put one out yesterday, got the least amount of views of anything we posted in 6 months.
Wow.
And it started with the word racism because
Mm.
we talked a lot about racism yesterday. And as I
Mm.
was watching it, going, wow, this is getting no views. There's no distribution. YouTube is not putting this in front of anyone. I'm
Right.
like, wow, is the algorithm literally not distributing this clip
Right.
because I put the word racism in the title? Like,
Wow.
are the bots in the engines trying to, deflect that word and not have racism be a topic that gets circulation? Which got me to thinking that, like, we never talk about racism in America.
Right.
We don't talk about it, yet it is one of the largest single driving forces in our society.
Sure.
The reason we were talking racism yesterday, because we were talking Tennessee 7, and
Yep.
we were talking about why all these predominantly white counties
Yep.
overwhelmingly voted MAGA, even
Yep.
though they're taking their food stamps away and their health care and their education and their hospital. That are basically, they voted for a declining quality of life.
Yeah.
So that I argued as a white guy, because they're so tied to their racism that it outweighs all these other factors in their life. So I put that clip out, and YouTube wouldn't distribute it, basically. So
Right.
it's almost like, no, we don't want that to be the topic that floats around and has people, commenting and viewing, right?
Right.
Which pissed
Right.
me off as a white guy. Like, I'm like, what? We had a conversation. We had a fucking honest conversation that included discussion about race and racism in
Sure.
America. And it
Sure.
basically got, what do they call it? Like silent,
Yeah.
silent, back pocketed, or whatever the term is they use when, we'd already gotten kicked off TikTok, right? For just
Right.
trying to talk about race
Right.
and criticizing Trump and maybe calling Trump racist, like just using the word, not saying he has racially tinged policies or biased or, other euphemisms that are thrown out there.
Yeah.
I'll make my last point. Then it got me even angry at some Democratic leaders going, you know what? Even on the left, we don't talk about race directly enough. Got me to thinking about how Hillary Clinton called them deplorables. She got crushed for it. But what she really was pointing out was racism. But she used a euphemism for it. And if you go
Yep.
back to Obama, when Obama talked about people clinging to their guns and God, and he got ripped for it.
Yeah.
But what was Obama? He really was saying
Racist white
they
folks.
gripped to their racism, right? He used euphemisms. Oh, guns, Second Amendment. Oh, that's what white supremacists want. Oh, religion. Oh, that's that fake Christian nationalism that's going around where they hide behind the Bible, but really it's just white supremacy, racism.
Sure enough.
So I kind of came into today kind of pissed off that in a way we got, kind of silenced by the platform yesterday because we wanted to talk about race and put out a clip about racism. And it just got me back to, like, this is the problem. This is why we can't fucking get anywhere, because we make calling someone a racist like an out of bounds, over the line type of statement, when in
Right.
most cases it's just obvious. It's
Yeah.
just day-to-day behavior. It's just what it is. And
Yeah.
the funny thing about the Trump regime is they're telling us they're racist.
Right.
They're just
They
flat
put it
out.
on paper.
Yeah, they put it in a manifesto. So I don't know. That's my little diatribe, Mark. I mean, feel free to tell me
Are you surprised?
whatever. Shrug your
I'm not.
shoulders and go, why did you spend time on this? I don't even know what the fuck you're thinking.
Well, I'm not surprised, right? When you try to have honest conversations about racism, you first have to convince the racists that it exists, because they will tell you till you're blue in the face, I'm not racist. I have black friends. I'm a Republican and I vote for the party, but I'm not MAGA. I mean, bro, it's like the NFL, right? End racism and all on the sidelines and in the end zone. But they're still doing the same practices. We don't have any minority. We have one Asian owner, South Asian owner. No color, 31 white men. Right? Like, I mean, bro, this is the United States of America. The 13 colonies were founded on racist beliefs and practices. They weren't serious when they said all men are created equal. They didn't believe that. We weren't even 3/5 of a man at that point. So, when we look at what just a couple of weeks ago was the anniversary, if you want to call it that, of the release of D.W. Griffith's Birth of a Nation, which was the first piece of media that actually described and visualized the big bad black boogeyman, right? Raping and pillaging the countryside, the pure and wholesome white countryside. And we've been doing it ever since, right? We started with slavery, we moved on to Jim Crow. Now we've got the prison industrial complex. Racism pays in America. Racism is a huge, huge money maker in America. And if you don't have somebody to oppress, how do you make your money?
So I want Steve Kornacki to go to the big board, right, and show like next time, and show like a Tennessee map and break down the counties and go, hey, and talk honestly. Hey, this county, which is 92% white here in southern Tennessee, and although the median income is like 32,000 and 84% of the county is on food stamps, they have voted for the Republican Party 92% in the last 8 elections. So this predominantly white community, they're going to vote for their racism. So, the economic factors really don't come into play here. So now that we have a white man, Van Epps, going against the progressive, woman, we think that we think they're going to fall in line as they always do, because there's really no other issues that come into play in this county. How about that for an analysis of the voting patterns of Americans?
Yeah, well, then again, they don't want to piss off their advertisers. Kornacki doesn't want to piss off the people upstairs. And Kornacki's a white guy. He doesn't see it through that lens. He sees it through, two political choices.
The border, not realizing like the border is just a racism issue. Flat out. It's flat out.
Absolutely.
Just the border, just so we have all these euphemisms for different ways of saying what we really want to say. Whether we call it xenophobia, racism, you can even throw the homophobia in there, anti-Semitism, like that's not race, but like, the hate kind of ends up bundling and catching everybody, right? Once they start down that path. So, they care about the border in southern Tennessee. They're so fucking far away from the border. We know it has no impact on their lives. Like, it's a joke. But it's spoon-fed to us as like legitimate, like issues and conversation, and these are the topics that really need to be broken into, except for the fact that like they're just gonna fall in line with their race, because that is so outweighs every other factor in their lives.
Yeah.
That all the other issues 2 through 20 don't matter. It's really where they stand in number 1, which gets to the supposed Republican woman problem.
Yeah. Oh, well, Brock, before we move on to that, who's making the money with the immigration deal?
Oh,
with the immigration arrests?
Oh, the guys who own the private plane companies that are flying them around, the prison companies that are getting built everywhere, like whatever dollars a day it is to put and the actual agents themselves now at the lower end, right? But they're getting paid in bonus.
$50,000 bonuses.
Oh yeah, they're going to make 5,000. They're going to round up 5,000 people in New Orleans by hook or by crook, because that's the fucking number that was laid out there for them.
Right.
So it's like back your way into the number. It's like find the crime, right?
Right. The hell with the fact that the people in New Orleans don't want them there and don't see a need for them, and storm city council.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because the people of Louisiana want it. Just like it didn't matter what the people in Nashville wanted. It was like what the rest of Tennessee outweighed them. Yep. And won out. So the people who don't live even near people of color are the ones that want them all rounded up. But we're always constantly using these euphemisms, and I just want to get rid of the fucking euphemisms and just talk the issue.
Yeah, but you want to have a common sense conversation.
I
And
do want to have a common sense conversation.
yeah, common sense doesn't pay the bills in America.
Uh, well, I want to have a conversation that's also not about paying the bills, right? It's about society, not just how much money we have and how many flat screens we have, but about actually the society that we live in and the way we interact with each other. But I want to get to the women's issue only in that it's really becomes a race question. Because,
Yes.
oh, I should be shocked that MTG and now Nancy Mace and even Elise Stefanik, three privileged white women, are upset with Mike Johnson, want him ousted apparently, because they don't like the way women are treated in the Republican Party.
Like I said, it only took what, 10 years?
So, okay. So now it gets me back a step, which gets me to like, well, why are you three women Republicans in the fucking first place?
Exactly.
Like, what have you been getting out of it anyway?
Right.
Your whiteness just outweighed your womanness 10-1 because the party has always treated you like shit. And now there's factions of the party that want to eliminate the women or revoke the woman's right to vote. So you're literally in a party that has a faction that wants to take away your right to vote. But somehow you're still in that lane. Well, what's keeping you there? Why haven't you just peeled away from the party? Why haven't you walked away? If you're, quote, Republican, but not MAGA. Because MAGA wants to take away a woman's right to vote.
Right.
So what are you doing at that party? Why are
Yep.
you holding hands with those people? What are you getting out of it? And I can't get to any answer except the racism. And if you tell me the religion and all that, the religion just ties back to the racism. 'Cause I don't buy into religion in America. To me, religion in America are just power structures trying to get shit for their people. And in our country, Christian nationalism, the most powerful and the most political. So I'm just not buying into any of it. So you have a woman problem. You've ignored that woman problem your whole life. You're 50 years old now. Now it's bothering you.
Right. Brock,
You're
let's go
still
back
going
to your
to
point.
vote along with it because you're still going to vote your whiteness first because you embrace your whiteness too much to give up anything else.
Well, Brock, let me tell you why this conversation doesn't happen very often among me and my cronies. And I got a fraternity meeting later on tonight, and it won't happen there after we're done with taking care of our business and we're sitting around socializing. These conversations don't happen because we already know it's the racism. You want to have an honest conversation about it. Try having an honest conversation with your colleagues and your friend group about racism. And they will tell you, Brock, it ain't that bad. It's not nearly as bad as they make it seem because they've never experienced it. And if you're the party in power and you don't experience them, if you don't know what it's like for somebody to tell you they can't hire you because they've been told not to. If you've never felt that gut-wrenching just bile that bubbles up and makes you physically ill and makes you want to punch somebody in the face, then you can't really relate to it. And these Southern white women, now remember, Southern white women have been a danger to black folks since we got here, since 1619. You couldn't even look at a white woman cross-eyed. See Emmett Till, see many of the other lynchings in the South for looking at white women the wrong way. We've been walking on our tiptoes since we got here. So I saw you had your hand up. Go ahead and make your
No,
point.
you answered the question I was about to ask, but which was going to be like, but women who have been discriminated against, who haven't gotten jobs because they're women, who still make 72 cents on the dollar,
Yep.
right? Who are
Yep.
constantly harassed, who have to live in fear, who have to have pepper spray just to walk out to their car after dark in parking lots, right? Or in constant fear of the men around them, right? And
Yep.
who also, have bias against them and have their whole lives, when they walk into rooms, you would think that they would have a understanding of racism and therefore wouldn't have the mentality that, oh, that's overplayed, because they're also hearing it about,
Oh, oh,
misogyny, right? Oh, that's overplayed. Oh, woman, oh, you're overdoing it. You're making it up.
you're
I'm
emotional.
not going to talk white men, because I think that a lot of them are a lost cause, but I would think white women, they should have a problem with the GOP, but I would argue not enough of them do.
And
But
that should be nothing new. GOP has never been on the side of women. Since when has the GOP had a platform that was women friendly? Not since I've been following politics and watching. I mean, think about it. We got to go back to the turn of the century, to the 19th century, the 20th century, to see a movement for women, pro women. And I would argue, what Kamala did was incredible with 100 days. But we don't know what she could have done with a full campaign season under her belt.
nope.
And we'll never know. Because you know why? She had her chance, is what America's going to say. Right? And America's going to say, a brown woman can't win. That's why we need to go with Gavin.
Yeah, gotta run a white guy.
Yeah, we got to run a white guy
Can't be
or
a woman.
Josh or whoever gets the nomination. But I would argue, based on, the proverbial noose she was given that was hung on her, what could she do in 100 days? How could she convince even the most open-minded suburban white woman? Because that's who we needed to get. We need to get suburban white women. We can't speak about the Latinos anymore. We needed to get them. I don't know if they should ever vote in Republican in mass again. And I still don't understand why they did it this time. So, look, the fact that we took away a woman's right to choose, that the GOP did that, Trump did that, he bragged about it, right? The same guy, the molester in chief, right? The guy who's being protected because he was graping young girls. The guy who was named in a lawsuit for the grape of a 13-year-old is the guy they were voting for. So it wasn't about his fine, upstanding character. It wasn't about his business leadership. It wasn't about his ability to manufacture opportunity and make money. Damn sure it wasn't about his ability to run a casino. It was about the R word. And we all hate the same people. So let's stick together.
Which is what they're leaning into right now, with the even heavier as things get worse.
Yep.
Trump has to play deeper into the racism of America.
That's what Venezuela's all about.
But we don't. And the left makes us. We don't talk about it enough. Like it has to be framed that way directly. Oh, Trump's on a racist rant because the economy sucks. Because his affordability pitch doesn't work because he's so fucking disconnected from what's going on with everyday Americans. So he's going back and amping up the racism. Okay, Somalis suck. Ilhan Omar has to be thrown out of the country. Oh, we got to go into New Orleans. Oh, that city prizes a lot of black and brown people. Let's go to New Orleans.
You think?
Oh, yeah, we got to stir shit up with Venezuela. Oh, they're brown people. Okay, there we go. We got to double down and triple down. But if on the left, we don't talk about directly, no more deplorables, no more guns and religion, right? No more just using different words for what we're actually the topic we're actually talking about, which is the deep-seated racism in America, and that how that drives decision making and policy, and unfortunately a lot of voting. So if the left is going to swing, who are you going to swing? Who can you peel off? And what I worry about, I know we're running up in time here. What I worry about is when the left doesn't win a Tennessee 7. There's some in the party who react like, oh, Afton Bain, oh, she was too progressive. She was too far left. We need to run someone down the middle, aka boring white guy who's MAGA light, right?
Right.
Because oh, she could have won. Not hey, well, that was a great performance. She swung 14 points, but oh, she didn't win because she was too progressive. Talking about those issues that oh, no one wants to talk about, like oh, fucking race.
Right.
So I can't talk about that. Gotta go back to the kitchen table, right? Because the kitchen table issues, as soon as I hear kitchen table, that means, oh, okay, they don't want to talk about real shit about people. Okay, we're just going to talk about numbers right now and, jobs
That means
and
please
this
don't
and
talk
that.
about it. Yeah. That means please move away from the issue of race.
Don't be woke.
Yep. You don't want to be woke. Wokeness will get you right out of office.
Wokeness means you're willing to talk about race.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the problem. Until Brock, and we've said it here, you and I have both agreed, until we have an honest conversation, a reckoning on race, where we decide as a society to create a more fair, more just, more honest, more integrity-driven society, we won't have it. Until we start paying men and women as equals, until we start seeing people for their qualifications and not their name. Brock, how many times have you heard about this study? I know you've heard about the corporate America study, where if you have a black sounding name on your resume, you don't get called. Do you know how many iterations of our resume my wife used to go through when she was trying to get hired because she thought Latanya sounded too black? You know how frustrating that is to have to hide who you are at your core? This is my name. This is who I am. And it may cost me an opportunity. Think about how just fucked up that sounds. And it's almost like having an EZ on the end of your name, except it doesn't seem to be, as much venom pointed in their direction at the Latino community. And maybe it's because the Latino community is somewhat more acceptable to white America. I don't know, what fuels it, but I do know this. I do know it starts at home. And I do know you and I are having this conversation because our four parents decided they weren't going to make the problem worse. They were going to raise kids that were honest and decent human beings towards others. And that's why you and I can have this conversation. And that's why a lot of others can't. I wish I had the answers for you, bro.
Okay. Can't ask you to have all the answers. All right, you got a quick hit for me today?
I do have a quick hit.
Okay.
Gosh, what was the quick hit I had?
All right, I'll go first. I
All right,
saw
go ahead.
something. I saw something that Jasmine Crockett may run for that Senate seat in
I'm
Texas.
loving that, bro.
That's a hard seat to win. Talk about hard seats to win.
And we put up some good candidates,
But I know Colin Allred already threw his name in the ring, and then there's that state senator, white guy that some people love. But I think Jasmine, I feel like she would clear the field, and then everyone have to just go behind her if she decides, because I think she's the star of the party. But
Yeah.
I could be wrong. Texas is its
Yeah.
own world, but I found that interesting, and I would love to see it.
Yeah. Gosh, I lost my train of thought and I can't find it in my notes. Gosh darn it, I'll bring it tomorrow.
All right, my second thing is that Spotify Artist of the Year based on
Bad
downloads.
Bunny.
Bad Bunny. He's everywhere now. Man, I'm glad he is everywhere. Beat Taylor Swift on that one.
You gotta love it.
Talk about a takedown. Two Goliaths going at it.
You gotta love some Bad Bunny, baby. Can't wait for the Super Bowl.
I gotta learn a second song, that's for sure. I only got one in my arsenal. I got it. I'm putting when we sign off here in like 30 seconds. I'm putting on a Bad Bunny song. I'm gonna get a second by tomorrow's podcast. I'm gonna know the words to a second one.
I love it. I love it. All right, I already subscribed to his YouTube channel, so
I'm going to it right now. All right, Mark, always a pleasure. Enjoy your fraternity night out. I'll be home on the couch.
All right, buddy, enjoy.
All right, take
Try
it
not
easy.
to get up too quickly.
Okay. Talk to your mom. Bye.